This is how they always start. A lot of people do drawings and then basically fill them in. But I think for paintings to really work as paintings, it has to start with the paint. So this first stage is very, very rapid, the underpainting, which is what gives the basic character and energy to the painting. I like to work on very raw, unstretched canvas because it takes away any idea that it's sacrosanct, the canvas. It's just something to attack and abuse as much as you can at this stage. Plenty of time to be precious later on. As every one of these strokes lives under the surface of the painting and gives energy to it, even when they're hidden later on. Okay, that's the main part of the painting done. It's also a good way of getting exercise.
When I was a student, I spent a lot of time thinking about 20th century history, 21st century history, and in the Middle Ages, where there were very great upheavals in society, there were cycles of sort of apocalyptic paintings on a very large scale, a lot of difficult subject matter reflecting collective experience. And I was thinking that after the Second World War, a lot of art tended to go towards pop art, more consumer-driven imagery. I always thought it was an extraordinary thing that 5 years after Auschwitz, the most prominent art form was Coke bottles and Marilyn Monroe, almost as if the culture was turning away from what it had to confront. So when I was at university, I was thinking there must be some group of artworks that reflect really the true experience of 20th century man, all the major themes in terms of displacement, genocide, what that's done to the modern soul of man. And I was looking for something equivalent to the medieval apocalypse imagery. And with some exceptions, but few and far between, I didn't really find what I was looking for. So I had a crazy idea when I was really quite young to try and start exploring some of that imagery myself on a very, very large scale. You can explore the same image or idea in different ways in different media. You can keep the whole thing going and alive by flitting between one medium to another. A large work of art can start as a tiny little scribble that's nothing. When you enlarge a little study like this, really big, every little thumbprint and scratch becomes huge. It's a funny thing with modern artists, they always like to rearrange the face, almost as if the modern person is reconstructed. That's the thing about being modern, is that you're reconstructed. Somehow just a straight portrait is no longer as true as a deconstructed portrait. I don't know why. 100 years and 200 years, when people look at the art of this period and they look at the history of this period at the same time, there should be some kind of connection between the two. Art reflects its time. But my work is not about any period in history particularly. It is about trying to show what's hidden in order to create images that reveal something truthful.